So, Sword Online, it's been a second. It's been a second since I've reviewed you because I took about a 3-week break from you. But for a good reason, I'm glad I did. I needed the break. I needed to get some stuff off my plate so I could kind of re-energize, per se. But Sword Online, Season 3, Alicization. I think I said it progressive and or aggressive, but I meant Alicization, excuse me. That's the reboot series, actually. But this Season 3 has showed one thing. It showed writing, more in-depth writing, more, not even necessarily in-depth writing, but more fluid writing, structure. That's the best way to put it. It feels like I am watching someone in a game progress through a campaign more so than watching them free roam. That's how I kind of feel, you know what I'm saying? So I feel as if I'm watching a game more like a Call of Duty kind of structure than a free roam world kind of structure. The campaign, the story, you have to stay within the narrative. And that's not a bad thing. You know, free roam games have great narratives too and have great structure as well. I'm not saying that. I'm just kind of giving you an analogy in a way, in our example. So, Sword Online Season 3 Alicization has shown great building blocks of foundation. Like, the imagination can equal power. I found that thing to be, that topic to be very good, very well done, because now and eliminate some of the BS, essentially, because we know that, hey, your drive can help you get through things. Your motivation and determination and your feeling towards a certain matter and why you fight, why you take up the sword can help, just elevate how strong you are. And that's something that can relate. It is something you can relate to because, like, if you're determined and motivated in real life, obviously, you're going to probably going to outperform what you should, per se, depending on how motivated, how determined you are. But other than that, though, I found that these past few episodes were really great for the characters, too. It gave Kito a little bit of characterization, even. We kind of want to hop on to the flower scene wherever they're destroyed, and some people be like, he's crying over flowers getting destroyed that he's give to his trainer, Liana. Like, why is he bawling his eyes out? But it was actually symbolizing the loneliness. The flowers are one of a kind. They can't grow over here, but they are. Therefore, they're lonely. They're isolated. They're very few of many other different kind of flowers that do grow there. Kirito is very few. He is a person in an AI-driven world. He's not from there, but he's there. So that's pretty cool to see. I actually really enjoyed all of that. That was great. That was a great kind of how they really made those two things kind of correspond to one another. I loved that. That was good writing, in my opinion. I enjoyed that. And I always enjoy something like that. But we also get to see that Kirito isn't necessarily as invincible, per se. He's someone who isn't necessarily the strongest when it comes to one-handed sword combat. We see him fight Volo and barely win. Actually, the fight wasn't technically, you could say Kirito won because he's the only one that actually left some kind of scratch, at least to clothing, but they called it a draw. But then Liana comes in and she beats Volo, and Kirito was struggling with Volo. So if you fought Liana, we saw one time that he lost when they were fighting with wooden swords. Real swords, different kind of story. That's what he fought Volo with. But nonetheless, it shows that Kirito isn't just above and beyond, per se. Whether the show holds true to that, I don't know. That's something that we still have to wait and see and find out, sure. But nonetheless, I enjoyed what the show has done with those, with that. And Yu-Gi-Oh! I call him Yu-Gi-Oh! But it's actually Eugeo. I remember calling him Yu-Gi-Oh! In like episode 2 or 1. But Eugeo is a character to where I like his character because he has great chemistry with Kirito. He's not annoying. He's fun to see on screen. It's fun that he actually has a chip on his shoulder too, kind of like Kirito. I like how he's not a copy of Kirito by no means. I mean, one, he's way more timid than Kirito in a way. He's not shy, but he is kind of timid. But he'll stick up for himself. He's someone who he's really essentially, maybe you could say, an unrefined Kirito, per se, in terms of personality. He's not as mentally experienced, So that makes sense. I mean, Kirito's been through Minecraft, so it's really cool to see kind of what Kirito would be like if he was unexperienced and kind of, I guess, naive in certain aspects. It's cool because it's kind of like it's Kirito's little brother that's looking up to Big Brother. So I do kind of like that aspect, honestly. I really do. It's pretty cool. It's really pretty cool. Kirito isn't a bad character in the sense of his persona, his personality. No, it's extremely likable. People who don't even like Sword Online, I think, would admit that. He's what anyone would aspire to be in a video game world. I mean, anyone who's an otaku, well, that's the guy we want to be. He's smart. He's really good at games. He's like one of the best, if not the best, consistently. So it's cool to see him on screen like that. So other than that, though, I love the scene to where kind of this show has been showcasing that the index isn't perfect. There are loopholes, you know, the sexual kind of harassment that was it Humbert? I think his name's Humbert, one of the noble guys that are disciples, elite disciples 1 and 2, did against his disciple was showing that the taboo index is not perfect. And it makes me wonder if Kirito even has to follow the taboo index, but I kind of want to get into that in a different video. But it's something that's pretty cool. We know that's been one of the things that have bugged our man outside the game who created Alicization, that wants to make artificial beings, the guy from the government. I can't remember his name exactly, but the guy with glasses, of course, you guys know what I'm talking about if you watch Sword Online at least, and or have been paying attention in the slightest. But that one of the biggest issues was he's trying to create AIs that think for themselves, really, and they could use them in war so they don't have to lose lives of, you know, police officers in real life and so on and so forth. But that's one of the issues he's had. They've created a taboo index, and now they're like strictly following it, right? So we see this as loopholes in it. And Kirito is a different variable. He's not a variable of the game. He is a outside variable that's been put into the game. Therefore, I don't necessarily know how much he even has to follow that. But it shows that the show goes to show that it's not perfect. There are ways to get around it. There are things that still need to be put into the index per se, so that's pretty cool as well. I am enjoying seeing that. So one thing that I really want to talk about, though, Kirito has been having to work for it. This whole arc essentially has been Kirito starting from a disciple and working his way up. One thing that I think would really make this arc very good was if, you know how we have Eugeo and Kirito as elite disciples now, and we see their disciples underneath them? It would have been cool to see more of that with Kirito and Eugeo. I mean, we never even got to meet Eugeo's disciple, you know, his mentor. It would be cool to see, Liana and Kirito interact more and actually garner up a relationship. So that would have been cool to see. I wish the show did do that, but we didn't. I mean, we just kind of got it thrown at us. Therefore, maybe that's why the Liana thing wasn't as impactful as I felt it should be with the flowers too, as well. Given I understood the message clear, but I did feel it was impactful. It was cool to see how Kirito actually feels isolated, lonely. So it's cool to see what's been going on in this arc, but I think this arc is more like of a BB plus for me. It's not quite, I think it's solid, it's good, but it's not A material. It's not even A minus material, let alone A plus A. So when I see that, if they would have built a foundation of the characters, it would have been way better. I think they should have took an episode out and really established them getting into the school, them becoming disciples, and them getting their mentors. I think that would have been far better for this arc, because it feels as if the arc's missing a foundation. I think we all could agree with that. Not a big knock on the series. It's still been better writing than what it has been in the past, even though Eugeo is good. I think Gun Gale is good. I'm sorry, guys. Gun Gale is good writing. Kirito got development. He got characterization about his past. He learned how to get over the hump of the people he killed in game, and it gave us his characterization of depression and all the anxiety and all this, this despair he's going through, along with Sinon going through all the characterization she went through about killing a man whenever she was like a 2 or 3 or whatever it was, and then getting over her phobia of guns. That was good writing. I don't care what you say, that was good writing. You're blind. But I think this arc is doing good. I think it could be better. I think the show so far is more structured. It's definitely more. It's structured, and it's fluid for the most part. I mean, if I graded how fluid Sword Art Online was, like in its first season per se, Eintracht, I would say it was like a B. I would say this is more like an A in terms of how fluid it is. The little kind of scratching, or I guess dirt on the resume, is the beginning of this arc, how there wasn't really a foundation established, how they got, how they got into the school, how they got to becoming disciples, and how they got their mentors. So that's one of my only complaints about the show. So other than that, though, Kirito got a new sword, looks badass. Is it better than the Elucidator? I'll ask you guys that question. What do you guys think? At the same time, I believe I covered really everything that I wanted to. I'm pretty sure. So, other than that, though, guys, what do you guys think of Sword Art Online Season 3 Alicization? And any closing thoughts that I may have last second to add to the video would be that I think it's going to get really interesting seeing if Alice remembers Eugeo and Kirito. I mean, I can't remember exactly, but Kirito did start to remember Eugeo. I can't remember. I need to go back and double check that. Leave in the comments below if you watch this far in the video. Did Kirito remember Eugeo? I can't remember because I know he remembered him for a second. And I know Eugeo said something to Kirito, made a remark that he remembered him. So, I mean, yeah, Eugeo made the comment about how those three were together with Alice at one point, I'm pretty sure, right? I can't remember exactly. I need to go back and check that because that's kind of crucial, given I'll find out whenever they meet each other again, obviously. But I would not be surprised if Alice doesn't remember them. I mean, we do get to see her in her armor in the opening, I believe it is. I mean, obviously she's still alive, we know that much, but she had so much, you know, such a great relationship with Kirito and Eugeo. Why would she not go back to the village? I just don't see how she would not do that if she had the power to do so. So, other than that, though, guys, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, phone to X25. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. You guys have been hexed.